Welcome to the deep dive. So today we're asking a pretty fundamental question. What really fuels innovation? What's behind it all?
Yeah. What makes us constantly change things?
Exactly. We're digging into this one text that looks at the long history of it, from really early inventions right up to, well, how things work today. And the aim here isn't just to list cool inventions. We want to understand the why, the motivations, and maybe the ripple effects too.
The consequences.
Right. So if you've ever wondered why we're always trying to improve things and what that actually leads to, this is for you.
And one of the first things that jumps out from the text is just how constant this drive is. It seems to always be there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it argues that, whether you look way back at ancient tools or, say, modern food delivery apps,
Okay.
there's this ongoing push for efficiency, for convenience. The text actually calls it ruthless efficiency.
Ruthless efficiency. I like that. Like there's no ceiling to it.
Seems that way. Just this relentless quest to make things easier, faster, better. It makes you wonder if it's just fundamentally human.
I think it has to be, doesn't it? The text gives examples, right? Like early irrigation compared to today's global supply chains.
Exactly. Different scale, different tech, but the core idea, optimizing how we use resources, how we get things, it's the same basic impulse.
Okay, so let's unpack one of the big drivers the text talks about: profit, money.
Right. That's definitely a major theme. The text really highlights periods like the Roman Empire, all that trade, the expansion. It argues that the need for efficiency in commerce, the drive for wealth, really spurred innovation. Needed better roads, better admin.
Better ways to manage it all. Makes sense. And you see that today too, right? Companies innovating to get ahead, grab market share.
Absolutely. It's a powerful motivator, no doubt.
But okay, here's where it gets maybe more complex. The text doesn't just say it's about profit.
No, it doesn't. And that's crucial.
Yeah.
It brings up things like the scientific revolution.
Ah, right. Where the goal wasn't necessarily, making a quick buck.
Precisely. It was driven more by sheer curiosity, a desire to understand the world, knowledge for its own sake almost.
So there's something else going on too.
Yeah, the text hints at this, this deeper human desire for, quote, something more or something better. It's not always tangible.
Just wanting to know, wanting to improve things because we can, or because we want to see what happens.
Sort of. It adds another layer to the whole picture of why we invent and innovate. It's not just about the bottom line.
Okay, so we've got these different forces mixing together: profit, curiosity, this drive for efficiency. But what about the impact, the long-term picture?
Well, connecting those motivations to the outcomes, that's key. The text really stresses how this constant innovation, even small stuff, gradually reshapes everything. Our societies, our technology.
It's not always the big flashy inventions then.
Often not, no. It's the accumulation.
Yeah.
Lots of small, subtle innovations that build up over time and lead to massive changes. Think about how communication has evolved bit by bit.
And the text suggests these changes aren't always for the better. There are downsides.
It definitely goes there. It talks about the potential negative consequences that often creep in. Things like environmental costs
Okay.
or social inequality getting worse. Sometimes innovation disrupts traditional ways of life, too, in ways we don't fully anticipate.
So even those small, subtle innovations can have these big, sometimes unwelcome effects down the line.
Exactly. We might not even see them coming at first.
Which brings us to, I guess, a really important point the text makes about balance.
Yes. Balancing the motivations with the potential consequences.
Especially when profit is the main thing driving it. Businesses might focus on the short term, right? And maybe ignore the longer term costs to society or the planet.
That's the risk highlighted. The text suggests we need to think about how to, line up those short-term gains with more sustainable, responsible, long-term outcomes.
Easier said than done, I imagine.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
But it's the crucial challenge, isn't it? How do we foster innovation that truly benefits everyone sustainably?
So if we boil down what we've discussed from this text, innovation is just deep in us, human nature, maybe.
Seems like it. Driven by a mix of things: money, curiosity, that efficiency drive.
But it always comes with consequences, good and bad, planned and unplanned. And we need to be really mindful of that whole picture.
Yeah, the main takeaway is that this urge to innovate is incredibly powerful, maybe unstoppable. But understanding why we do it and being really aware of the long-term ripple effects, that's vital if we want to, manage it responsibly.
Okay, great summary. So to leave you with something to chew on, thinking about those historical patterns, the drivers, the unintended consequences, What might be the really long-term effects of the innovations happening right now, the ones accelerating fastest? What might we be missing?
That's a big question.
Something to think about. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.